My finger just went on fire. Did anyone see that? Not. I tease all the time that I have fire hands. I don't know if anyone saw that. Yeah. Just like, oh, my finger's on fire. Not a big deal. Lee sends me those TikToks all the time with that young, well, she's young to me. She's probably in her 30s, late 20s. And she, I want to say they're from somewhere in the upper northern Midwest. And she imitates her mom. And how her mom's always like, does this feel hot? And she's just, and that's me. So my nickname in real life with my friends is Fire Hands, because I'll just like reach in the fire and rearrange logs and stuff, and people are horrified. It just okay, I'm done. How is everyone? Are you all prepared for the astrology of the next couple of days? Rather, we're here for fire signs. I'm going to tell you, go watch Lori Rivers at Woke Astrology, TikTok, YouTube. Doesn't matter. I feel like she's on YouTube, but she's also got a podcast. But she is always talking about the collective energies, and she's just a master at that, and that's really helpful. To all of us. She's just incredibly helpful to all of us. We made sure no one was going to a store today, anything else. I also, we don't, maybe, we're low key in my house. And I don't, I won't get into the origins of Thanksgiving, but for those that are here, are y'all ready? I saw something about a pumpkin cheesecake. Who was that? Oh, it's not letting me like scroll up on my comments. I'm so sad. Oh, there we go. Hi, Juan and Katie and Shauna and Renata. Hi, Amanda. Hi, Stephanie. Okay. Yeah, Katie, I'll message you later. I do have a good pumpkin cheesecake. All right. I also have the best ever if you want to make like a dupe of like expensive coffee, of like pumpkin lattes and stuff. Yum. I'm the goat of duping things from restaurants. I've been doing that since I'm very, very young. And now I'm very, very old, so I got good at it. Okay. So I want you to understand a few things. And again, go watch Lori's Woke Astrology. Lori Rivers, Laurie. But when she, like, I teased, she knows who I am, but I teased on her live last night when she was like, the moon's going to be in Aries on Thanksgiving. So of course for me, it's just going to feel like a regular Thursday, but I've spent a lifetime like curating my feisty energy that comes from that and dealing with it in a healthier way. When we have the collective, you have all these billions of people and powers that be that aren't taking the time to, like, hone the the nooks and crannies of that Aries moon. So, I mean, you could end up having, heated discussions, to say the least. And for anyone traveling today, I'm just gonna offer you extra protections on anyone traveling at all today. And my suggestion is that you lick your finger, because your own body has so much power, your soul, all of that. and make the algae's rune, which is like a Y, where the stick keeps going through that part, on the inside of your car windshield if you're traveling. If you're getting on a plane, my kids will tell you if they're getting on a plane or going somewhere without me, cat paw right to the forehead. Can everyone hear me and see me? Just making sure. Okay. I think I hear my annoying voice out in the living room, which makes me think that this is all working just fine. That's where Lee is, out with her phone. Okay. All right. I don't have any other announcements other than please check your email, because everybody in Astro, except for 2 people that went to the first Zoom party, everybody in the Astro members club and everybody in the Nerds members club should have gotten their invite for this Sunday for the big metaphysical Zoom party. Well, I'll be able to answer personal questions like taking tarot and... Okay. The other thing is, I'm going to leave this up to Lee. Do you want to, should we share the, yeah, I know, poor Lee. She's going to hear me twice. Do we want to share our Swedish apple pie? Probably Annika and May will eventually see it up on the thing and be like, that's not Swedish apple pie. It did not come from like my Swedish grandmother. It came from someone else somewhere. I want to say in the 90s that started to be a thing in my family. And since Emily was born in 99, she's just never not had it be a thing with my family. I didn't have it growing up. I didn't have it until I was an adult. But I just feel like that is such an incredible crowd pleaser. It is, I think it's 25 minutes of prep from start to finish before it's in the oven. And for an apple pie, that's cray. So let me know if you're interested. And Lee, let me know how you feel about sharing that. I mean, Lee when she worked at a Panera, when she was like living with my mom, she could get 3 weeks off as long as she brought in one of those pies. Everybody loved it. They would ask her to bring in the pie. She would make them and bring them into work. And her managers would be like, what do you need? How can we make your life better? It is that good. Okay. So we are starting off with my Aries people. I hear misdemeanor in the house. I don't know who that's for. Misdemeanor in the house. Ooh, ooh. That whole thing, which I'm sure sounds nothing like the real song. Yeah, I mean... Amanda, hi, Annika. I was just about to say, the other thing I was thinking of doing tomorrow was going live for a little while to just hold space for those people that either want to be with family and can't be. I'm sure the people in Europe, they don't celebrate inappropriate savage holiday. I know it's become like seeing family for Americans, but I was thinking of having a live tomorrow like I did for Father's Day, just for people who the day is harder. You know, the holidays are really extra hard for some people, and I'm kind of all about that more vulnerable demographic. So I was thinking about doing that. Yeah, Amanda, that's tough. Emily, you want to capitalize the P on Polish because it just says my manager was Polish. Yeah, no, I know you guys don't in Europe. But no, I was saying before, Annika, we have a Swedish apple pie family recipe. But I have a sinking feeling that, like, if I post the recipe, Annika and May are both going to be like, that's not Swedish. It's just, that's the name somebody gave it. Yeah, Sadie's still unwell after 2 months. And it's that thing that we do when we take on pets, right? It's so... And there are little fur babies. Okay, let's get into Aries at 10:51. Did anyone see that? Okay. I'm using my Stranger Things deck, by the way. With the Seven of Wands, it's in reverse. Aries, this is someone or something you've been advocating for a long time, being protective of, maybe overprotective, which Aries often is. I think on a weekly basis, I probably apologize to my friends for my overprotective Aries moon. The Cancer Mars doesn't help either, but it can absolutely be overprotective. So I feel like with this Seven of Wands in reverse, this is something, yeah, there's someone here or a situation that you advocated for a long time and maybe overprotected. And that overprotection can do one of two things. It can blind you to what that person's really about, right? Because we're so busy overprotecting them and protecting them, it becomes kind of like our job. It becomes our dichotomy. It becomes the energy exchange. It just becomes second skin. And then we realize we can either A, be enabling them, or B, realizing that like things are set up so that you can protect them because somehow that validates something that they need validated, right? Life. The other way overprotection can kind of go sideways is that at some point people don't love that feeling of being overprotective. Again, I apologize for it because, you know, I am aware if I'm in a session, if I'm kind of being told this is all the information you can give somebody, because what you don't want to do is have them avoid something that's integral to their journey, to their whatever, to get them. A lot of times we think we're helping people by avoiding certain situations, and what we're doing is delaying all the good stuff for them because we're putting a pit stop on the journey that was never scheduled. So sometimes we're not helping them by overprotecting them on a grand scale, on a universal scale. And the other thing there is that, hi Kina, that, you know, the overprotection can, if that other person now feels stronger, may not know how to tell you not to be you, or may have gently said, I'm good. But this is you trying to learn not to be, or you deciding not to be, whether that came out of, I gotta stop, self-awareness, or whether it came out of a situation where F them, I'm not protecting them anymore. I'm not sure yet. And again, whatever we're looking at today, then there'll be a poll up within the next Well, within an hour after this is over, there'll be a poll up for the members, and we'll look deeper into whichever part of this reading. I'm very curious about this Seven of Wands in reverse, and like, did that come from... Did that come from a F this moment, or did it come from self-reflection? Because that's going to make a huge difference how you move forward with the overprotecting that Aries can sometimes do. This is also great if you have Mars on the ascendant. You could also be a Scorpio rising, and first house energies. Okay. I'm just going to say this, okay? This is collective for anyone who has this vibe in their life. It doesn't have to be, we could get over all, because it could be the way something's aspected, right? So it's just, it's nuanced. If you have first house planets, or this is, again, just, especially like Sun, Moon, Mars, Venus, sometimes in that first house, I'm going to tell you that you protect people and you try to do right by people, and you probably are very sensitive to the more vulnerable of us in this world, right? Advocacy where you feel passionate about it. You might not advocate. You might let somebody burn, not pee on their head if it was on fire, if you totally were not aligned with that person's principles. You were not passionate about what they were going through. Hi, Karen. But if you have spent a lifetime advocating for other people, also check that you are not centering yourself. That's, we all have some inner child stuff, and we all have stuff that we could want to feel. We all need to feel safe so we don't experience fight or flight. So our nervous system is in parasympathetic. So our gut biome is not bubbling with all the wrong things. Safety is a basic human need, right? So when we did not feel safe, we will concentrate on the idea of making others feel safe one way or the other as we get older, or keeping ourselves safe by keeping everyone else out. Sometimes, and not intentionally, and I say this with so much love, and when it becomes like second skin to advocate fiercely for others for things that we feel passionately about, make sure that advocation is for that other person, situations, demographics, benefit, and it is not a way of centering yourself, that it is not a correction to what was missing in childhood to the point where it becomes your identity. We say centering ourselves. Yeah, that's not a great, right? We have to be aware. We have to hear ourselves. When somebody is giving their opinion on something or sharing something, sometimes we want to let them know, oh my God, I had almost the exact same thing happening. And we come out of listening and we start to center ourselves. It's a very, very human experience. It's a very common human navigation tool of trauma bonding, really. But what I'm picking up from this reading is that, again, whether this Seven of Wands in reverse is you're no longer advocating for something you used to advocate hard for, or in the way that you used to advocate, protect, you might have been overprotective. I don't know if this came out of an F this moment. You were protecting somebody who didn't need protection, and neither you nor them were at being able to have that moment where growth can happen, or whether this is from self-reflection. If this is from self-reflection, one of those self-reflections that's really important for every single person, no matter your placements, to look at is, when does it become centering for yourself? Because that's what you need. You need that from another person, so you force it on everyone else. and then center back in yourself. That you're the Robin Hood of whatever that situation, whatever that the thing that you feel that you need to protect about that person. Just that felt like it was nothing I ever say here is planned, clearly. That felt very important to say. I was getting all of my little signals. And that is just a huge growth arc. You know, we talk about growth and we think, well, like, I do this and I meditate and I've let go of dogma and I let go of all my toxic relationships. There are still ways that we can all grow as adults, aware humans. There are still little small nuances that we don't even understand that we have because coping mechanisms, right? All right. I almost want to say my I love you, now you love you, because I don't know who needed to hear that, but it again, that felt like I was dead stopped from the reading to say that. We also have a Page of Wands. Lots of fire. The whole reading came out fire energy for Aries. We have Page of Wands. And then we have the Five of Wands. So we have... You stopped something you were so connected to, and something that part of the relationship was you fighting for that person. I have a relationship since I'm 5. It started because she was crying and shy on the bus. And I sat next to her and I was like, oh my God, don't cry. Let me take care of you. And then when John Tanzik, who I am sure will never ever watch me or never ever hear that I mentioned his name, would pinch the top of her hand. I think I was 5 when I was like, if you touch my effing friend again. I probably didn't say effing. I didn't know that word yet. But our whole friendship was started that way. And at some point, right, it marred the contemporary, it marred the sense of us being contemporaries. It marred because I was so used to being in that protective mode for her that I was trying to protect her from things that, even if I thought was toxic, that was where she wanted to be. That's where her journey had her at the time, right? So it took a while to undo do you see what I'm saying? There are people in our lives, little sisters, little brothers, that is just the natural energy, and it comes from love, but at some point it needs to be recalibrated and readjusted. There is a big feeling here of you're not wanted in that way anymore. Hi, James. That you're not wanted in that way anymore in this person's life, whether you think it's needed or not. And sometimes it's when you think it's needed the most. Hi, Will. But they don't want it, and we have to leave them to that. And that could be very hard for that Aries energy. There is a starting all over. I'm telling you right now, this is either about a friendship, a relationship where you're like, this is what we do. You feel resentment and like somebody has been really, really ungrateful towards you. And even like I'm getting a little bit of gossip. I'm getting like you, first house, Aries moon, sun rising, whatever, and Mars near the ascendant or Scorpio rising. I feel like the person that you're trying to protect this other person from, or the kind of situation you've been trying to protect this person from, not only are they like, F you, I'll do what I want, which that's the human nature, right? Everybody has their own free will. But that you may have heard something come back around about you. And that might be the F this that I'm feeling. This may just be for some of you. You are starting all over. You may be finding like a new project to put that energy that you were putting into this person. This feels like a long-term thing. There's inner conflict with this. We need another card for Aries. We need for sure another card for Aries. You're struggling with this. And it's not even because you don't know how to let people go, because Aries can move on, and Aries will not hold a fucking grudge. They'll get really mad. They'll tell you exactly how they feel, and then they won't hold a grudge. They feel like it's on the table. We're good. Let's move forward. It's not even that you don't know how to let this person go or let like what happened or the whatever go. It's that you feel that something was unwarranted and somebody This is not the first time. This is not the first time. Aries and abandonment issues are just like this, peanut butter and jelly. So this is not the first time that you feel like you put all of your passion or all of your energy into something or someone, or just a lot, not all, but a lot. And the situation feels ungrateful in return. Mystic Harmony, I'm throwing extra protections on you for traveling today. I don't think it's dangerous, but this is like the most traveled day, so it's always just chaotic and lots of traffic. So I'm just wishing you good experiences in your travels and safe. Let's get another card. This is, you feel like you're starting all over again. So this isn't the first time that this has happened with this kind of situation where you put in all of this advocation, put in all of the protection, put in all of so much energy into this relationship with somebody who was at one point more vulnerable, where they were vulnerable, you could be strong. And maybe where they were strong, you could be vulnerable. I mean, at some point for this to have been what I feel like it was for as long as it was, there was absolutely give and take. It wasn't like you were the savior all the time. But this is just not the first time that this has happened to you. And so now you're just like, here I am, starting over again. There's so much inner conflict because yeah, part of you wants to fix this and part of you is like, fuck that. It's the pain of not having the other people. Okay. More wands. This is divinely guided. This is the Four of Wands. This is celebration. This is the 1111 card. This is divinely guided. You're going to have to do, this situation is here to teach you patience, my Aries friends. Let's get an oracle for this. Yeah, let's get an oracle for this. Where's my little book? Okay. Aw, thank you, James. We're gonna have part 2 because I feel like we cracked open a nut and now we have to take all. What the hell is wrong with me? Is it because it's Thanksgiving and I'm a child of the 70s Everybody would sit around and crack nuts, and like then you would take the little thing and pull out. Why would I say that? But it feels like we cracked a surface that needed to be cracked, like a little treasure. And now we have to like unpack the treasure. Maybe I could just say we had a great session and there's lots more to look over. But for some reason, I feel the need to always make these goofy ass analogies. Hi, Rose. Okay. This one is my dear friends. I don't use this deck enough because you absolutely kind of can't use it. Unless it was the only deck you used forever and ever and ever, and you knew all the words, you knew all the things. So you need the book, and the book had been missing forever, and then I kind of forget about it. Oh, I can't read numbers. God, it said 24. Said 47, so that's when I give in. My dear friend, lifelong friendship, dependability, solidarity. If you recall the card, The Journey, you may recognize a similar scene here with a woman riding a deer, but this time both the woman and the deer are much older. Time has passed, and the two are still companions. They've seen many seasons together, many sunny joys, and many cold sorrows. Their wisdom has grown. Like the graceful antlers the woman holds for comfort. The deer supports her, and she returns a loving touch to her dear friend. Okay, that one got me in the feels a little bit. This will have a happy ending. It's also divinely guided. It's here to teach you patience. I want, if you're watching this, if it resonates in any way, I want you to take a deep breath and close your eyes and think about every time there has been a rift or something with someone you cared about. Did your lack of patience and that enthusiastic Aries energy to just get something done, if whether that was fixing something or just getting things back to normal, is it possible you rushed it? Is it possible the other person wasn't operating on that same energetic timeline where it's like, let's just get this fixed. I can't sit with it, right? And I want you to look at your pattern around that. And would it benefit you, not the other people, would it benefit you to learn how to sit back and let things unfold a little bit without that advocation, without that running into the burning building, without that feeling of, I have to get this fixed now, and without tying yourself as a failure in relationships, in life, in anything, because you couldn't lickety-split fix whatever this was and it wasn't healed right away. And do you approach the idea of time as time for resentments to grow? Or do you approach the idea of time as time that's needed to give things space for everybody else to have their own epiphanies, for other things that are divinely guided to happen? This is divinely guided, and it has a really beautiful ending, and that oracle card kind of confirmed it, right? Yes, Rose, big lessons. That whole reading was like huge. Okay, we are on Leos. How are my Leos? boy, Leo got hit with Venus in retrograde. Leo placements, fire placements in general, right? You all know. With Venus in retrograde over the summer, and then Mars is going to go retrograde in Leo then in late 2024. So Leo's having a lot of, you just had, all right, so first of all, you had the eclipses and the nodal sign, the nodal axis in fixed signs for a year and a half, right? Pluto is in Aquarius. It will be, and there it'll stay after it takes one more dip back into, I don't blame you, because you know, we're talking about the nodes and we're talking about this and Uranus and Taurus. And when you get into real astrology, it's not just about your sun sign. It's like, how is your sun sign being aspected? And so you just got a break from having the eclipses squaring your placements, Leo. And before that, it was Venus in retrograde. And a lot of funky stuff going on in Leo. Like, that's why I did those Summer of Love with Connie Jo, because when I looked at the astrology, it just was crazy. Because if it wasn't, the Venus in retrograde was almost the least of it. There was so many things going on with Uranus and Mars. And so you still have Uranus in Taurus, which is squaring your placements slowly over 7 years. And then Aquarius will, yes, it'll dip from September to November for a hot minute, into Capricorn again in the fall of 2024. But after then, Aquarius is going, Pluto will be opposing. You'll get to have the Cancer experience, what we've all been having for forever when Pluto was opposing. So it's been a minute, and then Mars will go retrograde for quite a long time in Leo, late 2024 into 2025. Leo's, it is changing. I'm changing. Yeah. Leo is really going to have long-term changes. And it's funny because when we think about that Pluto in Leo generation, we think about that silent generation, and now we're going to have Pluto in Aquarius. It's the first time in our lives that we've seen. We've known people with Pluto in Leo, right? They were our parents. I actually had a Pluto in Cancer parent, which is when Pluto became known, right? Was in the early 1900s, and it was in Cancer. But we've all known a Pluto in Leo person, and that to be seen and not heard in so many ways, to turn a blind eye to oppression. And now we are in the age of information and humanitarianism, and we're about to see. And so, in my humble opinion, Leo will always be Leo, but I think new opportunities and a new light in which Leo moves through this world is really going to take place. It started 2 years ago, but it's going to then slowly solidify and take place over the next 20 years, and kind of break the generational cycles of that Pluto in Leo, silent and status quo. And so I think this is going to be really, really interesting. So if you are experiencing a lot of interpersonal change, Leos, it's all going to be to benefit your life. It's all going to be to help you re-navigate a world that's so different, and also to help quite frankly, to help like vindicate the reputation. Like, I don't, you know, all signs have their stupid pop astrology slander, right? But the whole thing about Leo just being selfish or vain or absolutely have to be like, you know, too much ego or attention whores or anything like that. That's nonsense. And I think that we're all gonna be here for Leo's transition. And I bet you any money that in 20, 30 years from now, if you're watching some terrible pop astrologer somewhere on social media, it's that the slander will be different. You know, IMHO. Okay. We're using the Starman Tarot. I love using this, which was a gift from Monica. I think you all know at this point. But I love using this deck for fire signs. So we're going to use it for Leo because that's what I felt called to do. Wow, there's going to be a lot to look at, a lot to, like, I don't know how I'm going to choose for the poll. Yeah, I would imagine that's a lot of Leo, James. I would imagine her not being nonverbal would also add to, like, that's how she figured it out. That's how she figured it out. Isn't it funny? Like, joy means so many people need so many different conditions to feel joy. And they hold themselves back from living in it, feeling it for the small things because they think that they need so many conditions to experience real joy. And we have other people in this world that are here to show us how much joy can be had with what others would, you know, think to be far harder circumstances, far harder environments or daily circumstances to deal with. Those are always the people who... One of my favorite pictures of my youngest was... I'll put it up on the page. Before his cleft was repaired, so just so you all are going to be... It was half repaired, I think, at that point. So you'll all be prepared. It's his unrepaired cleft. But he had 103 fever, swine flu, and an ear infection. I believe he had the feeding tube at this in Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, sitting up, smiling ear to ear and flirting with nurses. He thought all babies had clefts. He thought all babies had feeding tubes. He didn't know he was supposed to be pissed off about it. He was just, you know, it's just amazing. James, I don't know how you feel, but I always feel like no one should discount the front row we get as special needs parents. Those kids teach us so much. Yep, he was born in 2009. I'll put that up. Yeah, I mean, that's a whole other story. I could write a book. Okay. Leo, why did I just sit here and go on far too long about the healing and the arc that I believe that Leo will experience, right? And the challenges when things are squaring a lot, it gives you a challenge that you are capable of meeting. Star card. First one out for you. Look how gorgeous that is too. I love these cards. You could just literally sit and look at each card and keep finding new things. They are just extraordinary. The Star card, which is Aquarian, which is the other side of your seesaw. Hi, Adva. Hi, Samantha. It's the other side of your seesaw, right? So, that is what I was talking about when Pluto goes back into Aquarius. There's going to be this 20-year arc of cycle breaking that Pluto and Leo generation created, that definitely that silent generation, right? And so there's lots of healing. This is coming in completely channeled. Being who no one expects you to be is part of your healing, Leos. 5th house placements and people with sun near their ascendant. Being who no one, and I have one of the most favorite people in my life. She's so sweet. She's so misunderstood. But, yeah. Watching her move into this stage of her life that maybe no one saw coming, or it was not expected. It wasn't on brand for her. Is so incredibly beautiful. And living that life that no one, like breaking all of the molds because you can. That is very much on the table for Leo right now. We also have 5 of Cups in reverse and the 6 of Pentacles in reverse. This healing comes along with a couple of other things. Leo in 5th house placements, there may be something that you have been sitting in sadness for a while. And you have to feel your feelings. You absolutely have to process. For a while, I think you avoided this. But now I believe you're on your way out. Now listen, for some of you, you may still be avoiding it. But if you have watched me before, you know that I swear that Spirit keeps me humble by using cartoon, Disney references, ridiculous things to keep me humble. When I held the 5 of Cups, which is what happens with me when I hold the cards, when I start to touch the cards, more stuff comes in. When I held this 5 of Cups in reverse, the first thing I heard was Rafiki from The Lion King saying, "It is time." The level of discomfort or pain we can feel in any transition or transit in our lives is directly correlated to the amount of resistance we give it. The level of pain or discomfort we experience through any transition or any transit in our lives is directly correlated to the amount of resistance we give it. Leo, whatever this was, you did try to avoid it for a while, so it became this huge mountain to climb. It became... This star card is something here, because it's like the project you're avoiding. It's anything you're avoiding. The phone call you're avoiding, The longer you avoid that conversation with that person, the harder, the more awkward, the harder it is to even get to the phone call. Forget about how awkward the phone call will be now. The harder it is to actually get to that point, right? That's whatever this was with these feelings, with this processing, was put off for so long. So for you to process it now, and this is what happens, we make it bigger, we make it harder to process when we delay it. I mean, be safe, by all means. Tackle things one at a time. But completely pretending that it doesn't exist is never helpful to the human condition. It feels like it in the moments. I just had this conversation with a friend. I have a dear person in my life, and we will not talk for 2 weeks, and then when we talk, holy cow, it'll be hours, and it's always existential. We have these like debates about the human condition and stuff, and I live for it. But we were talking last night about how like sometimes trying to make everything comfortable and tied up neat in a bow in conversations with people feels really comfortable to everybody in the moment because they don't have to go there. But that normally doesn't help anyone. If you have a really, really good friend that you can't go there with ever in conversations, what you have is an acquaintance that's a lot of fun to hang out with. You have an acquaintance that's easy to be around when everything else feels hard. And that's okay, and we need those. Whatever this sadness is, whatever this thing was that you first avoided so it became bigger, when you finally tackled, you're on your way out of not sitting in that anymore. But damn, did you heal this? Leo, this wasn't a little thing. This was a big thing. For some of you, this is something you shoved away for years. Like it wasn't a recent thing that you had to heal. And the Six of Pentacles in reverse, I always find that such an interesting card to have in reverse because it really depends on, for me, it depends on the vibe of the artwork. What is the illustrator what other layer are they trying to give us? We have someone upside down. Well, we have one person in the power and this person also helping. Almost like whatever they're doing is keeping that person suspended upside down, right? So sometimes Six of Pentacles is portrayed like reciprocity. And sometimes it's portrayed like for one person to keep the power, other people have to be in a more vulnerable begging position. This certainly would be the latter. So when it's in reverse, yeah, Leos, this healing is something because this was a mountain to tackle. This was no small thing here. This was that Five of Cups was bigger. I mean, we could all think about like, you know, the people who spend half an hour in the morning and a half an hour at night cleaning their house and their house is always perfect. And we're like, how do you do that? Because that seems exhausting to us because for the rest of us normies who don't spend a half an hour in the morning and a half an hour at night, like deep cleaning, I'm talking about like the people who like mop their floors 3-4 times a day. Like it's just what they do. But their house is never out of control. They don't have a room that they're like, oh God, I gotta clean that room. Oh God, I gotta go through that closet. Oh God, like these clothes have to be put away. Are they dirty? Is this, I have to smell it now because I didn't put it away when I avoided it. And now I had to go through it to find something and I'm not sure what's clean anymore. I think that's all. I mean, if anybody wants to shame me for saying all of that out loud, feel free. But I kind of feel like that is probably more normal that people feel comfortable talking about, right? But this is like, if you don't, I will do that maintenance on my feelings. I will spend that amount of time doing my inner housekeeping I do not spend that amount of time doing my outer housekeeping, right? But I do take that time to do my inner housekeeping so that I don't get to the point where it's a mountain. Now, I used to have mountains in my home and mountains on the inside, and those usually reflect each other, right? It used to be chaos for both. But now where I'm at is that Five of Cups, I address it right away. I feel all the feelings, right? And I assess, I do my inner housekeeping. This is such a big deal. This is such a big deal, Leo. That star card is huge. Lee, if you're listening, I'm pretty sure Annie's at the front door. She can figure out which side of the house I'm on, and that's the window she comes to. Something had you feeling like you either had to like go along with something that was not healthy, align yourself with somebody that would siphon power off of others rather than empower people. And this is either your own shadow self in the back. This was not the Six of Pentacles of reciprocities. This is the Six of Pentacles of making choices, of aligning with yourself, somebody who could either financially help you or help you to not feel stuck. And like, please understand that concept. Why I always feel like I'm going to come on and just bang out quick readings, and that just doesn't happen. We can all remember what it was like to be in school, and whichever side of the fence you were on. I had a friend in the neighborhood that we were really close. When we were in school, I was the girl who sat by herself and people threw garbage at me. Like, my teeth are still crooked on the bottom, but I mean, I had like 2 rows of teeth on the bottom. I got called Jaws. I'm not saying this for the sympathy. I don't want it. That it's totally fine. It built tons of character. I'm completely okay with it, right? When we were in school, no matter what I knew about what was going on in her house, no matter how many times she had a sleepover, or when we were in school and she had the ability to be safe, and just everybody was trying to get down the hallways. And for a while I did hold resentment. And then as we got older, I realized if she sat with the crowd that was also making fun of me, yes, that was painful. But she did not have safety in her home. She needed one place that she could be safe. So she did what she had to do to survive. That is this card. Are you aligning yourself with somebody because it is survival, not because you're a shitty person, not because money means more to you than being a good person, not because this is whatever's going on here, this is survival. Now it's in reverse. Releasing either yourself or someone else that you feel like you had to put the wayside. I mean, look at that stance again. That they are worshiping something, and I think they're worshiping him. I mean, in today's society too, this could play out so many different ways. You are healing from what you no longer have to align yourself with. And that is scary. And you probably had to process a shit ton of feelings that you have put off processing for a very long time. This star card is not a little thing, and there had to be a reason that I went into that entire thing about Leo, prior to the reading about the astrology and the challenges and what we're not talking about. Not that other astrologers aren't talking about it. I don't mean it in that way, because that to me is like an egocentric statement. I mean, like, when we're coming here for tarot and I'm doing Leo, I'm just doing Leo and saying, hey, how you doing? And we're not talking about like what you've all been through astrologically and what's coming, which is good and sometimes challenging. Because this is a huge thing. This is also for 5th house placements. And I mean, this could be as simple as you stayed in an unhealthy marriage, partnership, or relationship with a family member that you had to, because this was safety. This was keeping a roof over your head. Financially, you didn't have any. I mean, I don't envy people who have to split now. Because rent, because groceries, because, oh my God. And you'll see a lot of people cohabitating together that are no longer romantically together. The cheaper to keeper thing, but in a very, like, where we are actually split. We're not pretending to be together, but still living in the same house. This is huge. To just feel like you're going to break free from that. You're going to heal that. Feelings of insecurity, feelings of lack. And also, for some of you, there could have been things that you did and people you aligned with for survival. Dude, it was survival. It wasn't because you were a shitty person. I'm still friends with the person that sat with the people that were mean to me in 8th grade. Because on some level, even at 13, I understood that her home was not safe. She needed one place to be safe, and she had to do what she had to do. And I would not be friends with her if she was an actual bad person. She's not. She's so strong and actually very gracious. And there's a lot of things that she does that I wonder, is she punishing herself? Because there was a lot of shit she had to do to survive, her and her sister. There's a lot of stuff she had to do to survive her childhood and her teenage years. And you cannot keep punishing yourself for what you had to do to survive. That was one of my first TikToks that I think that was in my first 20 TikToks that I ever did. And it's pinned to you do not get to keep punishing yourself your whole life for bad behaviors that were trauma responses, that were survival. You do not get to keep punishing yourself. You may have changed. The healed version of you may look back and look at an older version and say, how could I have stayed? How could I have stayed? I knew what they did. I knew. But you were doing what you had to do to survive. Like, at that time, I so want to do a whole thing about neuroscience and trauma, because I know a lot of people will be like, oh, Susie, if you want to go nerd out, go do that on your own time. Because I feel like if I share more about that and how the actual brain works, people would let go of so much shame, and shame is the roadblock to all of our success. Shame and judgment. Leo, I'm going to double down on my opening statement about the astrology and the arc and the slander that I don't believe in about Leos and 5th house placements and sun on the ascendant, and that the change and the generational and just the cycle breaking that you all are embarking on. You're already on it. You're already on it. I'm honestly, let's take an oracle card. I really can't wait to like do the poll for these readings so far. Yeah, that's all of us. We've all done things in a moment, said things, aligned ourselves to things, laughed at the joke we shouldn't have laughed at, made somebody feel bad. Because in that moment, we were surviving. There are people who are just kind of do bad things again and again, don't seem to have a conscience. We can all think of one right off the top of our head that has always in the spotlight. But in general, on a personal level, not on a global stage, but on a personal level, I'm always very wary of how much I make somebody the villain, because the balance of dark and light and the balance of villain is victim. And so if I'm saying like people do whatever they do to survive, and I'm using my friend because that's just such an extreme situation so that I can hammer home the point, because that is what Spirit is giving me. And they're showing me that exact situation. If I share a situation, it's because it's being flashed before my eyes. But I will make sure that I say, I have done things to survive that I'm not proud of. Because I don't want to always center it around another person, because then I won't look at myself. I won't. When we have people that come into our lives like that, it's a very clear situation what they're doing. It's always good to take a look at the mirror, not to put all the blame on ourselves, not to put shame in it, not to any of that. But it's always a good, just put the mirror up and say, do I see any of that in myself? Even if it's a small amount, where is that coming from? And does it benefit me to keep it? Or does it benefit me to start working on that one little thing? Slowly, gently. Okay. All right, very interesting. Both these cards came out in reverse. I am using the Rebecca Campbell Starseed. I wish these had numbers. Okay. They don't really have a reverse reading for these cards, so I'm just going to read them. For Leo, 5th house placement, Sun on the ascendant, and for whoever this resonates for. Water your garden, nourishment, body, and tenderness, rest. Earth is a seasonal planet, and as such, every time. And as such, you're a seasonal being. Cycles. What have we been talking about? I love universe. You cannot be on and in full bloom month after month, day after day. You are strongly being called to put on the brakes, rest and refuel, to take a moment to restock, to replenish, slow right on down. Your body is the only body you're given, and it needs to be respected as such. You're being called to take responsibility for your well-being, to put your health and your body first. I know it can feel like time is running out, and as if there are urgent things that simply cannot wait. However, if you keep pushing on, soon fatigue will set in. This way of living is not sustainable. If anyone continues to race through life, eventually they will reach exhaustion, and it will take longer to recover than it would have done to rest. Immune system disorders and mystery illnesses are becoming more common because we're putting too much pressure on our bodies to keep up with the instantaneous pace of modern life. How are you being called to put on the brakes, to rest, restore, rejuvenate? When was the last time you took a holiday or had a full weekend day or afternoon off? Look at your precious body and mind. Give yourself enough time to recover. And when you find yourself running on reserves, and it feels like there is not enough time, life will bend towards you when you do. I mean, we're just talking about the expenses of everything, and we're talking about inner housekeeping. Okay. The other card that came out, trust the timing. Trust the wave you came in on. Time is not running out. Okay, so there's a very clear message between these two cards. So often those who feel like they're here for a reason sense that time is running out, and they spend their life worrying that they might miss their moment. FOMO. But the only way to miss your life or your moment is to spend your time worrying about missing it. It's never too late to answer the calling, and you're never too old. I'm excited to do these extended readings for these. Okay. By the way, for anyone that was there on Friday and saw my phone freeze at 9:41, never moved the time, for Tuesday, January 9th. It was November 17th, and it was like 4:45 in the afternoon when it started to say that it was 9:41. Also, then on Friday night, or no, it was Sunday, I went to go upload the extended earth signs video, and I absolutely uploaded like a 40-minute video, and YouTube, I sat there, I waited the time, everything, and YouTube only put it up at like 9 minutes. So if your technology has been wonky, technology has been especially wonky around me. We're just gonna blame that all on Uranus. Let's see. I need a deck for Sag. Let's use this guy. How are my Sagittarius? We have a new moon coming in Sag in a couple of weeks. That'll probably be one of the things on the menu for what do we want the Astro Party to be about. We can either do the new moon or we can do the full moon in, the full moon in Cancer. Ooh! Sag, how you doing? Let's get another one. Stop. It is Sagittarius season, right? Like, are you bossing? Are you bossing? Because we have the Queen of Wands, the Wheel of Fortune, and in this deck, the female presenting King of Swords. But look at this. That is a hell of I mean, that is powerful. All in the upright. Let's get one more. I mean, like, Sag, things are changing. Use your creativity. Speak your truth gently, but for sure, just fucking speak it. Okay, the Strength came upside down. We have only court cards and major arcana in this entire reading. 2 major arcana, 2 court cards. Why are you doing, Sag? Give me the recipe. I don't even feel like The Strength card is in reverse because you're weak. I feel like the Strength card is in reverse because you can put your defenses down. Because this is what I talk about all the time. All the time. When you figure out this shit, all right, let's just put the Wheel of Fortune down because that's kind of like outside circumstances, right? I mean, you turn the wheel, but again, it's a combination, right? But this and this, that is you. This is inner empowerment. This is standing in your creativity. This is standing and not feeling ashamed of, you know, there are people out there, and Sages are huge on this list, that have charisma, that have a power, that have, sometimes people would say, lots of good opportunities or good luck, or people just like them, or they're just attractive, or they just do okay in life, whatever it is. And they feel almost a need to apologize for that. Or they have their own interpersonal relationship with power that's not good because other people have overpowered them. This is coming into understanding your power does not have to harm. This is allowing yourself to shine bright without somebody telling you that you're selfish, that you're an attention whore, that you're all of these things. Because Sag also gets called those things like Leo, right? And Aries, just fire signs in general. This is allowing yourself to shine and standing in it without guilt and being just so gracious about it, but also like standing in that power in a beautiful way, but not overpowering people. This, okay, let me tell you something. King of Swords. It says what they mean. It means what they say. It is the I said what I said card. Now, the King of Swords upside down, they're going to say it like an asshole. The King of Swords in the upright has integrity. They do not hear. They do not speak to hear themselves speak. This is, they do have a male presenting King of Swords in this deck. There are 2 King and King cards in all the suits. This kind of inner power allows you to do that. This kind of inner power that's built slowly over time. This one especially, this Queen of Wands, which I love for Sag. And I just got, by the way, the shirt is up on the shop for anyone that I'm Sagittarius and I know things. If I'm Sagittarius and I know things was a card, it would be this one, right? So, but also this is such a beautiful Sagittarius card. It is the Queen of Wands. She's benevolent because she can be, because she doesn't, this Queen of Wands is not worried about somebody outshining her. That Queen of Wands is not sitting in her insecurities, worried about the idea that somebody is going to shine more, get more attention, do any. This Queen of Wands shines, but that light is so high and so bright, she doesn't mind who else stands in her light. She doesn't need to overpower. She's happy to empower. And she understands that this is within, so that no one else can kind of come take it either. And she worked a really long, hard time to get there. She has truth to dispel on you. She knows what she knows, and she said what she said. These two are so big as interchange. This is somebody who has done their inner Pluto work. This is somebody who has really deconstructed and built back up. I mean, deconstructed and built back up. And I have chills. 9th house placements. Jupiter on the ascendant. Sag placements. This is somebody who has deconstructed, built back up. You have done your inner Pluto work. You have done your own dance with interpersonal power. I keep getting chills. I don't know who this is for, but wow. Okay. Now I want to cry. I don't know who this is for, but I feel like I want to sit down and pick this person's brain. I want to hear their stories. I want to, but while these cards are all like amazing, I feel like the road to get here, deconstructed. Oh, deconstructed completely and built back up. But this is self-made. When I say built back up, I mean you did it. You built it back up. And that is the reason no one can take it from you. This is not because someone told you you were beautiful. This is not because somebody told you that you were worthwhile. This is not because somebody told you you could do things. You completely deconstructed and built yourself back up. When I talk about, they keep showing me bricks and mortar. When I say deconstructed and they're your bricks, I mean like you made the bricks. You didn't just like, no one gave you bricks. You like literally from the ground made the bricks. You dug the clay. You dried the clay. You like, this was not an easy place to be. This is not just like you came out the womb, straight out the gate, big pimpin' in your sunflower energy. Whoever this is, I keep holding back tears. Here's the ugly face to keep me from crying. This strength card, you may not feel all the way, you may be bracing for what's going to come next. Sag had the South Node on them from what, late, or actually spring of 2020, right? For a year and a half. So that does not feel like that long ago. You may feel like you're bracing yourself for something else to come along, because that's how life has been. But I really feel like a lot of that strength is like, they're showing me you with like the 9 of Wands, but you're in the center and you're in a circle with wands on fire. There's more than 9. But no one can get to you that way because that's what was safe. And you could shine that way, and you could be silly that way, and you could find ways to be the party person that people expected you to be. This is so, I feel like I'm reading for one person. I almost want to apologize to all the other Sages because this feels so personal. And you stayed that way for a while. And as long as you stayed that way, and you were who people expected you to be, that kind of felt safe, but it wasn't. There was no sense of inner strength. There was a sense of like, if any one of those wands came down, everything was going to catch on fire. And you would be too vulnerable. It's taken you a long time to move throughout the world and feel safe. Like without something up against your back. Without something... The tears are coming anyway. It's been a long time since you felt like you could navigate the world without like an invisibility cloak, without like some kind of like defense. This is not... This is because... This feels like fucking freedom. which is so important to Sag. To be able to move within the world is so important to Sag, right? And to shine bright, but to do it in a way where you can just like breathe easy and be yourself. Because when you deconstructed and rebuilt, you did it in a way that gave you inner safety. The idea of there is no outer safety. You were so strong that you took that from being a real thing and a real lived experience, and they're showing me like these giant moving globes and how you like switched it, and that is this Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune is something you turn. The circumstances didn't change. Instead of trying to fight a world that you did not feel safe in for any reason, you changed your inner safety in a way that was not an issue anymore. You are the Wheel of Fortune that moved this. And you get to relax. Let's pull. I can't remember the last time I was doing collective reading and I got bam, 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 like that with channeled images and feelings. That was a lot. Healing yourself cards, because this is what this person did. Whoever this was, the world felt very unsafe and like there was nothing that you... I'm feeling a crazy childhood. These cards are so gorgeous. Sagittarius, letting go. You are being challenged to change your point of view. You already did. And recognize that this particular relationship has run its course. Although you might be afraid to let go, the universe has a new opportunity for you, which will allow you to experience the kind of passion and satisfaction you have always dreamed of. Saying goodbye is never easy and can make you feel like you are a failure. You must not allow yourself to be persuaded by other people or your own doubts. Focus on opening your heart to a new opportunity. Leave the baggage of past mistakes behind you. It is important that during the letting go process, you are gentle with yourself. Allow yourself to have alone time. Write, meditate, paint, sing, dance. Do whatever you can to heal and let go of the pain that is holding you back. Recognize your spirit is beckoning to grow. I all of a sudden feel like the person and people that I am reading for, y'all don't even know that you're this now. Because so much time was spent like this. Y'all don't even realize you're this now. I want you to like sit with this. I want you to sit and that is who you worked hard to be. And just like be proud of that, because you certainly shamed yourself quick enough. So do you sit in like, is it okay to be great? Because we're taught that prideful. Isn't that one of the 7 deadly sins? I could be wrong there. Do you allow yourself to be proud? Or if you sit in that too long, does it start to feel uncomfortable? And does it start to feel like if you get too cocky, life is going to knock you down? Ooh, Sag. I'm glad that you all were my last reading because... Hi, ES. All right, I'm going to do a random love reading because this was all so empowerment based, and I know some people have situations. So let's just do a random love reading. I'm feeling really good today, probably because, you know, I think the moon is on my progressed moon, and then tomorrow it'll be on my natal moon. All right. All right, let's do these. What other ones do we want? Got these and these. Okay. Okay. Random love reading. I'm gonna do tarot. Dream weaver, I believe, get me to. Was that good? Good. I'm glad it was spot on. I felt like I almost feel like I owe people an apology because I felt like I was in somebody's personal reading. It felt like really, I felt very humbled by the transformational power of this person to be in their energy or just in that energy. But I'm glad it was spot on for somebody. Got very, very specific. Okay, so I'm using the Mystical Dream. Nope, that's not what it's called. I think it's called like the Dreamweaver Tarot. I don't know. I'll do that video. I'm using the Vintage Journey of the Divine Connection. I'm using Blunt Truth, Message from Your Person. I'm using the good old OG Romance Oracle. And I'm going to use the Kipper to get a little bit more. I'm going to start with this. Also, all morning long, I don't know if this was for somebody, because this happens a lot when I'm going to go live, then all of a sudden I get like a song in my head. And it was the one from the Lady Gaga. Did I just call her the Lady Gaga? Signs you're getting old. You call the Lady Gaga. That sounds like such an octogenarian thing to do. All right. But that I bow down to pray, trying to make the words come sound better. Whatever that song is. I got a million reasons to walk away. That one. I'm not going to try to hit high notes because I can't. Okay. We have heal any issues you have with your mother and don't read into communication. Listen to what is being said. Those are our first cards out. I'm older than you. I know, because I just did your chart. And I'm perfectly good with my age. But what I'm saying is calling her the Lady Gaga sounds like an octogenarian thing to say. My mom probably would have called her the Lady Gaga. Okay. Ooh, is your person not communicating? Because they got nothing to say. But I don't know who that was like in my head all morning. Definitely didn't hear it last night or this morning. Wasn't like in the background of something. If those kids don't turn Oh, Will, you made me snort. You kids don't get off my lawn. Okay. What does your person have to say? Oh, the shenanigans. It's probably why our live streams are so small. Okay. I don't know that your person wants to say anything. That was just like 8 cards at once. Could I just get one card? One card. What is their person? I mean, is this the 4th time I'm going at the deck? The 5th? Of course. No. I don't want you to all see my pajama pants. Here, you can look at my cards. Always full transparency. I'm totally like all business from the waist up and always wearing like pajama pants or sweats. Okay. I love having a job where I don't have to wear real pants. It says your person is saying others are trying to tell me what to do. Let's get a romance card. This is taking way too long. Taft will take things that, you know, y'all kill me. The not knowing though, Mystic, I'm getting that for you. The not knowing is actually like a breakthrough. Like it leaves room for something that needed leaving room for. There was some kind of roadblock. You moved it. Sitting in the not knowing is doing something else. Okay, let's get one of these. Am I not supposed to use those? I'm not doing that all day. Okay, so we have expectation. There's expectation connected here. Healing issues you have with your mom. Don't read into communication. Listen to what's being said. And the other person is saying that their message is that others are trying to tell them what to do. Let's get a tarot on this. Expectation ruins our happiness so much. Okay. We have Magician in the upright and the Tower in reverse. You're trying to bring in somebody new while somebody old isn't completely out of the picture. Now listen before you get mad at me. I know that you could be done with the other person. You could be like, I'm done. I'm not trying to get that anymore. They're not done in your energy. There's somebody else. I have you and 2 other people here. Kind of like 3 other people, but not in the way that you're thinking. There's somebody who has not let go of your energy left. Let go of your energy yet. The other thing is that relationship, that dichotomy, that whatever it was, and I mean whatever it fucking was, because that's what I feel like I'm supposed to say, did a little number. Kind of mentally, emotionally, a little bit spiritually. That could be tied to like stuff with your mom. Even if your mom's great, even if you love your mom, even if you talk to your mom every day, you could still have things that you have to work out about your mom. Trust. So you have somebody that's not let go of your energy yet. And there's that relationship or that whatever it was really was not great. What we have here in this Tower card is there's like a person who held themselves high getting hit by lightning instead of the tree and a person underneath. It's very interesting. That feels like somebody who needs an ego death, maybe getting an ego death. But they're trying to like kind of cling on to you while they're experiencing their energetically, while they're experiencing their ego death. You don't want that person anymore. That person may want you, but you don't care. Like, you don't want that person anymore. But it is what they left behind in the way of like little surface scars and little like you're still like healing the mindset around how you communicate, whether you can trust communication. That is how they are still lingering. Not that like you're saying, I don't want that anymore, but you're so toxic and you still do. I am not saying that. I'm saying that the scars that they left behind, because this is somebody who had a lot of ego. I don't feel like they were truthful. And so when this ended, if you've dealt with narcissists, if you've dealt with scammers, liars, I don't know why I want to throw scammers in there, grifters, that kind of energy, their whole life they just get by making themselves victims or this or the other thing. I don't know what's going on here. I really just want to say whatever the hell this was, because it wasn't they could be a master at presenting like healthy. They could be a master at making you think you're in something healthy, and they're just, it's how they survive. It's their grift. It's like their lifelong grift. It may not be about money. Probably isn't about money. But with this, you are trying to manifest somebody new. There's another person that's in your life that hasn't come forward yet. You know them. They have not come forward yet. They're a little confused. They have their own shit to work out. You don't want them to come forward yet. So, like, if you're listening to this, please don't go, like, light a candle or do one of those spirit, like, you could say spirit if it's my highest good, because if it's not your highest good, spirit won't give it to you, right? If you preface everything like that, or universe or guides or whatever, however you, Cookie Monster, I don't care, however you want to say it. But, like, please don't say, don't go do some intention work to bring that person out, because they're not ready yet, and rushing it is not going to help anything. But there is somebody already in your... Can I just get a confirmation on that? I just want a confirmation. There's somebody already... Oh, fuck it. Let's just do this. Where's my other guy? Okay. Can we just get confirmation? Is there, for this random love reading, am I picking up correctly that there's somebody else already in their life that has not come forward yet? Okay. Yeah. Don't rush it. Don't rush it. They're a little confused, and they've got somebody in their ear that would not, even if it got together now and there was incredible chemistry, there's going to be somebody in their ear or not out of their energy. I feel like both of you have things in your energy that need to be dissolved. You know, distraction intentions are great to distract somebody out of your energy. That's not like a one phrase thing. I mean, maybe Cat in Boots has something for that, but I do something for that, but it's not like that's more of a session thing. Okay. I hope you are all safe. I hope for the next couple of days, I hope you enjoy family if that's what you're doing. If anybody wants to hit me up, I'll put the apple pie recipe up. Katie, if you want to hit me up about the pumpkin cheesecake, just whip everything a lot. And there's a Scorpio shirt and a Sag shirt. I'm probably gonna have a whole bunch of fun stuff up for zodiacs, including like ornaments, maybe some wrapping paper and stuff like that. And I'll have that all up for Cyber Monday. And I'll post the thing again. Like if you're in here, there'll be whatever cyber sales. And then y'all get 10% off. You know, but the Sag and the Scorpio shirt are up, and the Scorpio, I've been wanting to make that Scorpio shirt for such a long time. Makes total sense for Scorpio. A little tiny, like your mind could go in other places. Juan has seen it because I wanted his very good opinion. But the shirt's in sweatshirt and it's in t-shirt, and you can get it in all different colors and sizes and stuff. The shirt's pretty inexpensive. But there's also a Scorpio shirt that's pretty, I think it's funny. Just the tip. All right. I love you. Now you love you. And I will see you. I'm going to go probably live tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Is tomorrow Thursday? Yes. I'm going to go live for a little bit tomorrow just to hold space. For those if they're having a hard time tomorrow or around this time. And then I'll see you all. I'm going to do weekend hangout on Saturday because I have the Zoom for the members on Sunday. I'll put that all up, and the poll will be up in an hour. My goodness. All right. Well, I'll be busy over my holiday weekend. All right. Love you guys. Bye. I can make it into a V-neck if you want a V-neck. I can make it into a baseball jersey if you want a baseball jersey. You tell me. Yeah. Whatever, however you're most interested in it. I'll go look. All right. Bye. Lee, can you throw the thing up actually? If you go on my link tree, that's it. If you go into my like link page, which is in the description box, you'll get to it. I don't want to be like over solicitous with the fun stuff, even though it's fun. I just don't want it to be like, I don't want this to turn into an infomercial.